People are supposed to be typing my name in. God. Maybe.
All right. And we are live.
All right. I want to welcome everyone to Mentorship Monday here with the Owwll App. Now, for all of those Owwll followers out there, thank you so much for joining us. And for those of you that do not have a copy yet of the Owwll App, I'm going to highly recommend that you go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download your copy of the Owwll App. And it's spelled Owwll. Just look for it in the App Store and download a copy, and you will be able to get in touch with not only myself, but my two amazing co-hosts that are with me today, as well as anyone else I've brought on this show. So my name is Geoffrey Schmidt. I am the host of Mentorship Monday. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a mindset and performance coach working primarily with entrepreneurs and high achievers, basically helping them reach goals and new levels and timelines that might have taken them a year. We're going to hit it in 3 months. We're going to hit it in 6 months. We get some amazing things. We take care of some amazing things and make some amazing things happen. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my two co-hosts here today. So to my right, I have Jackie, and I'm going to let Jackie introduce himself, tell you a little bit about who he is, what he does, what brought him on here today. And I'm going to also ask him to throw out a tip, a mindset tip. And after Jackie, we're going to go over to Brent to my left. So Jackie, go ahead and take it.
Hi, guys. My name is Jackie Markovich. I own a company called Wind Mitigation Retrofit Solutions. We come up with solutions how to improve on wind mitigation reports, which is the whole premise of the insurance premiums over here. As you know, living in Florida, home insurance is very high. The only way to bring it down is trying to mitigate as much as you could. We install hurricane straps in the attic that holds down the roof to the wall. So if a Category 3 hurricane comes, it should hold it down. And at the same time, the insurance premiums come down a lot. Since the age of 21, I've been in a number of businesses, always been on my own. The only time I got a paycheck was I was an accountant for 2 months, sitting on my behind and counting someone else's money, which I didn't like. So I've been going on my own since then. I've had numerous businesses. Originally from Montreal, Canada. I had a steel business over there. Then a couple other businesses, married a Floridian girl, and she had 8 winters of Quebec weather. It gives me a choice. Either we're moving to Florida or I'm leaving with the 4.5 kids. She was pregnant at the time, so a happy wife is a happy life. We moved there in 95. Bought into a heavy-duty truck parts company, rebuilding transmissions, differentials, which I don't recommend. One tip, I'll give you a tip right away. Do not go into a business where you can't tell the rebuilder, take off the rest of the day and I'll finish off the transmission. Those guys are good. They knew they were good and they had me by my, you know where. So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
And had some different businesses since then. And I've been doing this since 2016.
There you have it. Thanks so much, Jackie. And I want to say to everyone out there, as you can see, if you've been watching this show and following along, who are the kind of people I bring onto this show? Everybody that comes on this show is the real deal. They're time-tested, battle-tested. They've been through it. They know what it takes. They've been at the top. They started at the bottom. They've done it on their own. They're self-made. You're not going to find anyone on this show who just all of a sudden said, hey, one day I just want to be an entrepreneur and blah, blah, blah. No, these are everyone I bring on here. You know, we had to make a choice at some point. You know, we had to answer that calling that was inside of us and really charge forward with that. So, Jackie, once again, thanks for that intro. And guys, please, by all means, call in. Ask this guy some questions. This is your opportunity to get some sage advice from a veteran of the industry. Now, this brings me to Brent right over here. Mr. Brent. Now, this guy's got a little bit of an interesting story, too, but I won't be the one to tell it. I'll let him. Go ahead, Brent. Share with everybody who you are and how you got to where you're at.
I arrived in Florida in 2014 of July. I had come from New York City where I ran restaurants 80 hours a week. I came to the conclusion that I was in the pursuit of happiness. And I truly believe in the pursuit of happiness, you can't possibly be happy. So after moving to Florida, I decided that I needed to do a 180 with my life, and I started a company called Built Personal Training. It's a personal training company, but we focus on what we call BAT, or body awareness training. We're a firm believer in that people are ashamed of their bodies, but not of their minds. We feel it's really, really important to marry the two together. So not only do we get you fit, get you some good biceps, but more importantly, we exercise the brain as a muscle as well. So it's a happy environment surrounded by music and just positive energy and great things. And it leaves everybody walking away after the hour just wanting to come back for more and just really enjoying life for what life is, not being so focused on the future or the past, but the present moment.
Perfect. So what's one tip or one little piece of sage wisdom you can share with our listeners that really like allowed you to get to where you are today?
I came to the realization that we're all writing autobiographies in our own brain and nobody really wants to read them. And the fact is, unhappiness finds a reason. Happiness doesn't need one. So very similar to Jeff, if you have the right mindset and the right mind frame going into certain things, I believe your preference can be taught to look at the positive and not the negative. So a glass half full mentality, almost 24/7, 365. When you're stuck in traffic, in line at the grocery store and someone's fumbling with the change, rather than getting frustrated at those moments where we're used to being frustrated, take time to embrace those moments. Look around. What do I appreciate about this moment right now? And by those little wins and strengthening your brain muscle, you'll just build upon that and be able to handle yourself a little bit better in tougher situations.
What do you think about that, Jackie?
I got one saying similar to that. I have three sayings on my near my desk. Number one is life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Something
Nice.
about that. I got into that, and it's just like my mantra. So it's like you got to adapt with the times, and things could be a lot worse. And life is good. Life is good overall.
Good. And that actually reminds me a little bit of a Bob Dylan song from back in the day. The times are changing.
Yep.
The times are always changing. I don't remember the lyrics, and I'm definitely not going to attempt to sing it. Even though we have headphones on, you don't want to hear that. But there's some verse or something in the song, which, where it goes like the times are changing. And like, if you don't move with them, you'll get rolled over like a stone or something, or get out of the way. Or something along those lines, but not the point I'm getting at is when that song was written back in the late 1960s, it was very prophetic because it's true. The times are constantly changing and we have to constantly adapt. And what I'm always seeing, like in my industry, especially for what I do, is like with the entrepreneurs and high achievers, there's so many out there who've reached levels of success and done amazing things. But here's the thing, they've done it on their own. So they don't know what's possible when they bring on the support, because now in today's world with AI and everything that's going on out there, you go to Silicon Valley, you go to Wall Street, where you used to be at back in the day. And, areas like that, everybody has coaches, everybody. How are you going to compete? Because your competition now has a coach. So how are you supposed to go up against that guy or that gal when they have, they have a squad behind them, supporting them and in their corner? And it's not so much always about the new things. It's about keeping us on track, the consistency, because it's so easy to fall off track. So easy. I can speak for myself. It takes one life event and, you could be in the gutter for like 3 weeks, and those 3 weeks you can't get back. There's no refundable minutes. So when you're at that certain level in life, it almost becomes a necessity to maintain and to grow, as opposed to looking at it like an expense or something like that. Personal growth is something that, especially now, it's pivotal.
Jeff, referring back to the word consistency, you said,
Yeah.
and the restaurant business in which I used to run, any restaurant that all three of us have been to that we consistently go to, they're consistently good service, good food, good ambiance. That's why you keep revisiting these things. So it works in any walk of life. Consistent effort, consistent trying to achieve things and make everybody kind of homostasis type of way where it's all even keeled, no highs, no lows, just nice and even.
Well, it's about having the tools to have that too. Like
Right.
you meet people all the time, and like you going to the gym that we work out at and stuff. and just life. You see people who are always on the highs or sometimes on the lows, and there's no middle ground. Either they have anger management issues or they have doormat issues. It's A or B, instead of having what you referred to as that nice, healthy middle ground, that balance. And here's the thing. This is like, getting into some of your stories too, is I learned a long time ago, like, God, when I was like, what was I, 22 or 23 on a trip to Costa Rica, what happiness was really all about. Here I am coming from America. I'm down there surfing, and I'm going to make a long story really short, but I see these kids playing soccer. So I end up joining them. And then before you know it, mom's inviting me and all the kids into the house. She's making food for me. I speak no Spanish. Everyone's laughing. We're sitting on a dirt floor. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this would never happen in the United States. So what is real happiness? What is the real meaning of life? What is really important? And here's the thing. It's finding yourself. It's finding where you feel good with you. People I've realized that are constantly chasing the dollar to try to go from millionaire to multimillionaire to billion, it's non-fulfilling. I don't see, I've never seen that end well. But when I see guys like Richard Branson, who we all know of Virgin, and some of your top guy, they're doing it from a place of balance, passion, focus, direction, consistency. It becomes who they are as opposed to what they are chasing. And when we connect to self, now we find that level of peace. Like, I never would have sold my last company if I was just chasing the dollar 24/7. I sold a successful business. It was running well, but I had other things I wanted to do in life. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to add?
Talking about trainers,
Yeah.
I just started with a trainer. Like, I hadn't worked out all my life.
Yeah.
I just started the last year, and what a difference! It's such a big difference. Lost 7 pounds, which okay
For you.
turned
Nice.
out, and I guess my mantra is protein and muscle, and changed my whole lifestyle because I needed a trainer. I needed a mentor, and we need some outside help.
I think it's very important, once again, that people can get caught up in the trials and tribulations of life, and they just have to be reminded, like getting the joke. Once you get it and you can realize you can shake yourself out of it and you let go of the grip of what's holding you back. Letting go is consistently the idea around Buddhism, just how to ease the pain and suffering of your mind, to let go of things, not continue to hold on to them. So that's I'm fortunate to be around it enough in 10 years that it does come easy, but it's like working out a muscle. It's just being consistent.
Yeah.
So
That's the key.
that might be the word of the day.
Well, it's like brushing your teeth. It's like showering. It's like earlier today, I was in Miami, and I'm working out in a gym down there, and there was one squat rack. That was it, one, and I needed to use the squat rack. So what did I do? I walked up, and it's, how many sets do you guys have left?
Right.
Well, it was a trainer working with her client, and they're like, oh, we only have one set. I'm like, perfect timing, perfect timing. So the guy, I could tell, he might have been working out. He's fairly new, but he was, looked like he was making some progress. He was putting some great work in there. And when he finished, they said, hey, here you go. It's all yours. And I looked at him and I said, hey, how long you been doing this for? And he goes, oh, a few months now. And I go, yeah, what do you think? Will you like it? You feeling this? And he goes, oh yeah. I go, well, you just wait, give it a few more months. Now you're going to have a habit. And once it's a habit, you know what it's going to be like? Taking a shower, brushing your teeth. How are you going to feel if you go a few days without brushing your teeth? Not too good. That's what's going to happen if you do not work out for a few days. I can't speak for you guys, but I think I am. If I take off more than a couple of days of working out, I just feel it doesn't feel right. Something's off. Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a very famous quote by Dr. Seuss, which I wanted to share with everyone, and it's referring to everything we're talking about. It's be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter, they don't mind. And I think it's very important to be genuine to who you are, and you've got to make yourself happy. You cannot be reliant on outdoor things or other people. If you can find that mindset, everything else just seems to fall in place. Jeff, I think you can probably, that's kind of what attracted us to each other at the gym. We just had that right positive mindset. We started talking, and here we are on a podcast a couple months later.
Here's the thing too, man, is because you make a great point. One of the challenges in today's world, and the challenge is not going to decrease as time passes, I can promise you that, is with all the information out there, especially social media, influences. I focus a lot on social media because think about it when we were kids. Facebook didn't exist. None of this exists. Who were our influences? Who were our mentors? The people around us. Mom, dad, yeah.
Yep.
Now people go on to Instagram, they go onto Facebook, they can look up anybody, and the influence is out there. The problem is that there's too much. There's confusion.
Yep.
So here's the thing. We all come into this world. We pop our souls, we pop out into the shell. All right. And we are somebody when we come into this world. But the world then tries to shape us into something else. And I think the journey at a certain point in life, especially once you've reached a certain level of success, you've basically earned to now begin the journey back home. Who are you really? Who did you really come into this world to be? Because if I had a nickel for everybody who I met who's done what they've done based on social programming, social conditioning, what they think they were supposed to do, as opposed to what they actually were, what actually are, that's a nickel from every one of those people. It'd be very
rich man. Yeah.
Extremely. So it's taking that journey back. And that's the thing. Like, I have some friends who have children, a lot of friends. And one of them I'm thinking of in particular, I won't name his name, but he's like, listen, Jeff, I'm keeping my daughter off of social media. It's an end of story. When she's 18 years old, she can set up an account. Let's say, well, that's kind of extreme.
Good luck, Dad.
I know. Well, listen, I want to support the guy. He's got some wind in his sails, but I know what my whole point, I know where he's coming from. Sure. Because he wants her to be her. He doesn't want her to be a version of who she thinks she should be or someone she sees out there. He wants her to connect with her essence, develop her essence, grow her essence, and just be her. And I get it. I totally 100% get it. But yeah, I also agree. Good luck too, to a certain extent. It's challenging, but that's the world we live in today, guys. Yep. That's the world we live in.
Saying number two.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's go.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs are the crazy people who work 100 hours a week so they don't have to work 40 hours for someone else. Really, I have that on top of my desk too.
That's so true.
It's just like I go to sleep. There's a pad next to my bed just in case I come up with some idea that I shouldn't forget the next morning. It's just nonstop. It's like if you're an entrepreneur, it's the only way nowadays.
Yeah. It's like you're blessed with a curse, literally.
Yeah.
Like you can't let it go. You just can't, and it's a blessing because, like, think about it. Every business, anything we see was started by somebody. That remote control, somebody had to sit there and sketch that design out. Whatever those little sound pads are on the walls, I'm not an expert on that, but I think that's what they're called. There's somebody behind everything we see. I'm sure there was somebody who obsessed over the perfect way to open a can.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many failures did this happen? It probably came with a hammer at one point, and then somebody's like, no, I can just go click, So entrepreneurs, it's like they're literally the backbone of innovation, the backbone of creation, and what society gets to enjoy. Yeah. And then there's nothing to say if someone's not an entrepreneur, because you need people to take those ideas and run. I think the term for that is called intrapreneur, where you can become extremely successful. I know some individuals, vice president of sales for a large tech company, actually works out at our gym. Very successful guy, very smart guy, super intelligent. Not an entrepreneur, but guess what? He's kicking down doors and making things happen for a company out there. So. Right. It's just knowing that lane you want to be in and where you're going to be comfortable, where you're going to find that peace and happiness.
Gravitate towards your happiness, whatever that may be for you. Whatever it is for you, it's for you. It's not for me to tell you or Jeff. It's for you to figure out and then gravitate towards that. In my apartment, and I don't know, this is something I suggest for people to do. It's what I do. I have just a little shelves that are dedicated to certain things that have always made me happy. There's a Dave Matthews poster. There's a trip that I went to, a picture that I loved. There's my favorite tequila I like to drink. Yes, as a trainer, I do drink, by the way. Biggest misconception. But I'm just saying, whatever that is that makes you happy, turn on music while you do the dishes. Make mundane chores positive experiences. It's amazing. I actually look forward to doing the dishes because I put on my music, I dance, I sing, I have a good time. I don't associate it with being miserable. And a lot of people are taught to associate certain tasks with being, oh God, I got to do that. You can change your mind. I promise you can. You just got to want to.
Well, and to run with that too, a lot of it, for whatever you want to do, whether it's like the mundane stuff that's boring, that's tedious.
Yep.
Going to the gym, whatever, a lot of people don't like going to the gym, but when you get to the gym, game on.
Yeah.
The name of the game, and this isn't my original idea, because when I had my cosmetics company, I had a coach that I worked with like every week for 8 years. Like otherwise I would have crashed that plane so many times. Yeah, I was one of those high and low guys in the early days. I was just like very passionate, we'll say. But either way, long story short, is one thing he always used to say is this. He's like, Jeff, it's all about the feeling. Okay, so when you're in control, you're closing deals, you're making things happen, you're shaking the tree. Let's get you into that mental state, because when you're in that state, that's when you make it happen. When you're in a unproductive mental state, when you're feeling like, oh, woe is me, blah, blah, and blah, don't even think of picking up the phone and calling a client or an account or something, because that energy is going to come across. So he was very versed in hypnosis and NLP like I am as well. So we used to use a lot of techniques in order to control mental state, to go into state as needed. Like I tell a story back in the day when I used to be like scared to talk on the stage in front of people, Now I don't even think twice about it. But back then, oh my God, I'd have to change 3 shirts before I walked up the
Most
stairs.
people are like that.
Yeah.
The most nerve-wracking thing is talking.
Oh, I agree completely. And I suffered under that, grenade explosion for years. But then it was finally like working with him when he was just like, hey, we did some stuff together, and I just realized, I had an anchor, and I don't mind sharing. It's called Showtime, where if you got to do something, go in front of people, I say it's showtime. As soon as I say showtime, boom,
Showtime.
everything stops. All my baggage is left behind, and I'm here. I'm here to
Next
deliver.
time I ask a girl on a date, I think before I go, showtime is what I'm going to say. And then I would go,
Showtime, baby. Showtime. It's all about showtime. And I used to use it with door-to-door sales too, because in the early days of the business, for 2.5 years, I was doing door-to-door. And, like if you guys have done door-to-door, you know how that goes. Sometimes you walk through the front door and they look at you like you have 12 heads on your shoulder. But if I really, 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 really wanted to be in that account, and I saw potential, and I knew that my product was going to sell no matter what they said, because they just didn't see what I saw, I was going to keep going back. And I did. I had one account that I had to go back 11 times before she finally said yes. Imagine that, I would go in and I would just start smiling. I'd be like, you know what? We'll say her name's Amy. I'm not going to put out her real name. I'd be like, Amy, one of these days I'm going to walk into your store and you're going to get off the phone. You have just got the best news, and you'll look at me and you'll be like, Jeff, I've been waiting for you to come back all this time, and I'm just ready to write an order for you. And she'd look at me like, don't hold your breath. And then finally, the last time I went in, she looks at me, she goes, oh my God. She goes, you again. She's like, fine, I'm going to write an order, but it's not because of what you think. It's just so that you don't come back.
Get out of my office.
Yeah. And then you know what ended up happening? So, hey, we used to have a saying, and I don't necessarily say to subscribe to this anymore, but back in the day, it was a thing: cry, buy, or die. So if they weren't dead or they weren't crying, then it was about getting them to buy one way or another. And they always did. And here was the thing: we could do it with good conscience because we did have a guaranteed sale, which meant that if you guys were retailers and I said, listen, trust me, carry my product, let's put it on your shelf, let's sell it. And you're like, Jeff, listen, I trusted you, I carried your product, I put it on my shelf, and it didn't sell, I would buy it back from you. So when we were willing to do the right thing on the, go in places that my competition wouldn't, I had no reason on earth ever to hold back on pushing the sale. And by the way, that story, 2 weeks later, she calls us back and she needed to place a reorder. So
cool.
Yeah. So what do you say we get somebody on the line here? Because we had somebody call pre-show. So let's see here. We got Daryl Adams of Human Behavior, Rebecca of Spiritual, a travel agent. Well, I just got back from Peru. You guys want to talk to a travel agent? Yeah,
why not?
Let's see where he can take us. He says he's on. He says he's live. Let's do this. We're gonna call him.
Showtime.
Yeah, he's Jean-Philippe.
Hello?
Is this Jean-Philippe?
Yes, it is.
You are live on the Owwll App podcast, Mentorship Mondays. How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Well, we're excited to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Did you wake up this morning having a feeling that something special was going to happen?
Something like that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, what you do, and then we can all throw back and forth. I'm here with two amazing co-hosts. I got Jackie to my right and Brent to my left. Brent's a trainer and Jackie is just the serial entrepreneur who's now doing wind mitigation, puts anchors in your roof, stops your house from blowing away and reduces your insurance costs. Did I say that right?
Exactly right on.
That was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I get a squirrel gets lucky every once in a while during winter. Okay.
All right.
So
So my name is Jean-Pierre Philippot, and I am with company called JP Travel. We are connected with Happy Travel, and we help individuals and business owners save money on all their travel needs. So no more paying retail. Just like Costco, you become a member, VIP member, and you get all your travel needs at a wholesale cost.
nice. How do you do that? Like, are you dialed in with like big travel companies, or how does that work?
So we are connected directly with the industry, meaning the airlines, the hotels, the resorts, the cruise, vacation homes. And because we're a lifeline to these industries, they give us extreme good deals that, one, the public is not going to be aware about, and two, others, travel industries, either don't want you to know or are hiding that information behind the scenes. So, as a former educator, I like to educate my clients. So, what makes us different between companies like Expedia or Priceline? One thing is Expedia Priceline um, charge you 30% plus retail costs, meaning they charge retail price and then they add another 30%. Why would they do that? Because they have to pay for the advertisement or that celebrity on TV. So they charge that. Two, they manipulate the prices to make you think that you're saving. And three, they own the small industries like the Booking.com, the Travelocity, all those other companies. They own them. So in result, they make it seem like they have competition. We in the industry, we try to be blunt with our consumers and show them the true meaning of travel and why they should not pay retail anymore and become a VIP member and save up to 80% on all their travel needs.
Interesting. So what you're saying is these some of these big companies, they have their hooks and all the others. So there's the perception that you're shopping around, but really it all goes back to the main source.
Correct, correct. Because Expedia and Priceline are the biggest search engines out there, and they own everybody else, and then they make it seem like, hey, we got competition. In reality, you're paying the big box
So
brand.
so how do you stand out from that then? That's all that because there are a lot of noise out there. Like you always run into them everywhere you go. How do you
Yeah.
make
So the
yourself
way
known?
so the way we stand out is, one, we use social media, of course, to let people know about us. But two, we also show people the type of savings we can offer them. We don't just speak to speak and then just don't do anything. We actually just show people, okay, where you want to go. We pull it up. We type in the amount of people that's going, and we show them the cost difference between us and the competition that are out there. So that's one thing. And as a former travel agent, see myself, I see the big savings that I can offer my clients. So I'm always trying to educate my clients to make a better decision, one way or the other. Two, we always tell people we're not a one way shop. Just like if you have Sam's or BJ's, you're still gonna go to Walmart. You're still gonna go to Target. You're still gonna go to the smaller stores, even though you got a membership through these bigger stores. So we always advise our clients, you always want to shop around between the big box stores, us, and even travel agents. Compare the prices and see what makes better sense for you, your family, and your pocket. So we always do it that way.
Wow, very interesting. Very interesting business model. Where do you see it going in the next, like, say 3 to 5 years? What do you see happening? Do you see yourself getting rolled up maybe eventually by an Expedia, or what's
No, we're not in the business of selling out to anybody like
Oh,
that.
come on now. If they show up to your front door with a $20 million check, something
Sold.
tells me that we're all going on a cruise together.
Well, the thing is, we're a family business. We want to make sure to stay that way because we believe in educating the consumer with the right information. So yes, there's a lot of people that start small and then they sell out to big, big companies, and we see that how that can, sometimes not go the right direction. The smaller business owners don't 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 want to go that direction, but because they've already sold, they see it going that direction. So we always want to stay loyal to our members and provide good quality service, no matter what's going on in the industry. As a whole, travel industry, yes, it is $1 trillion industry. That's not going anywhere. We can have another pandemic with people who still travel. But our model is to help individuals to understand their rights and know where they stand when it comes to the buying power that they ultimately have in their hands.
I hear the cruise industry is like going crazy. Is that
Yeah,
very? It's
yeah,
like they're breaking
it's
records.
every 3 months there's another cruise line coming up or
Wow.
another ship coming up.
Yeah.
So yes, travel it is not going nowhere. Just like the alcohol industry, it is not going anywhere.
May I ask
Times
you?
are
So
good times or
why?
bad times.
I
Alcohol's
have a
there.
question for you. And what is it? What's the initial cost to the membership to allow you to have your services as far as the travel is concerned?
It's just $99 a year.
Okay, fair,
Yeah.
very fair.
And what do they get for that $99? Like, besides obviously access to deep discounts, like, are they part of a community, a message board? Do they get, like, I don't know, a card on their birthday? I don't know.
Reviews of where people have been.
Well, with me and my business partners, yes, we try to um, honor our members and inform them of certain events and stuff like that. But we also do is we do reward them for their renewals. So every time they do renew, we do have the ability to give them a voucher for a free vacation of the. So we are ways to build and keep last our customers' loyalty by do offering them certain rewards for being a member and stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely has to be a value stack, especially when it comes to renewals and renewing their memberships. So they
Yes,
have to be seeing that value
yes.
some way or another. So no, that's great. So yeah, who wouldn't like a free voucher for a vacation? You got any to like Ibiza hanging around your office, or maybe Shanghai? What kind of want to check out? Shanghai?
I would certainly do Shanghai.
Get the most authentic Chinese food, I bet.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I like Chinese food a lot. It's good. All right. Well, good. You got any questions for us? We got 35 seconds.
No, I appreciate this opportunity to let the world know about my industry. Again, I like to educate my clients to know what the kind of power they have when it comes to their spending, when it comes to their travel needs.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure everybody appreciated learning about that. Thanks so much for being on the
Thank you.
show. And man, we're gonna have to look up your travel services. What's the name, real quick?
It's Happy Travel.
Happy
And
Travel.
yep, and the information is on my links, also my LinkedIn and other.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it. You just heard from Happy Travel. So if you want to have a happy travel experience, I think you have to go to Happy
Happy
Travel.
travel.
It just makes sense. All right, what you got, Jackie? I see some thoughts
Okay.
brewing in there. The coffee pot going.
Yeah, so I wrote, I came up with 10 traits found in a successful businessman. 1, visionary thinking. They have a clear vision for the future and set long term goals. 2, resilience. They can bounce back from setbacks and learn from failures. 3, adaptability. They are flexible and open to change in a dynamic business environment. 4, strong leadership. They inspire and motivate their teams while fostering collaboration. 5, effective communication. They convey ideas clearly and listen actively to others. 6, decisiveness. They make informed decisions promptly and confidently. 7, financial acumen. They understand financial principles and manage resources wisely. 8, networking skills. They build and maintain valuable relationships within their industry. 9, passion and drive. They are deeply committed to their work and motivated to achieve their goals. 10, finally, continuous learning. They seek out knowledge and stay updated on industry trends and innovations. That's the 10 that I came up with.
Love it, love it.
Really
And
good. Yeah, I liked them.
Identify?
Yeah,
I saw
very
you
good.
shaking your head over there, Brent. Which one resonated with you the most?
Well, I just think it not even so much, Rosie, the fact that it's very important to kind of walk the walk and talk the talk to make sure that you're putting in as much effort as you expect out of your employees.
Mhm.
You know, you're only as strong as your weakest link, all those cliches and things that we know. One I would like to add that is probably the one that I stress the most to my clients and to people in just meeting in general is by Voltaire. And he said, uncertainty is an uncomfortable position, but certainty is an absurd one, meaning it's okay to be wrong now and again. Letting go, again, the word that I come back to, letting go of your thoughts that you hold so deeply and so tightly. And maybe it loosens the grip and you can change your mind about things and discover new things and be a bit better leader. I believe so.
Oh, 100%. You know, that's life, you know, like, and that's business. Man-made, human-made laws are human-made.
Yep.
They're not universal laws. They're
Very
not
true.
laws of the universe. Like if I drop this 100% of the time, it's going to fall. That is a universal law. A stop sign, no, a stop sign. Well, yeah, technically a speed limit sign, that's a human-made law. It's a suggestion with a potential consequence if you break it, but you have to get caught. The universe catches you all the time.
Yep.
You can't get around it, you know, and then that's a big distinction, you know, knowing your universal alignment as opposed to just, you know, the socially programmed and conditioned alignment. That's a big distinction. And again, a lot of entrepreneurs, like if I had a nickel again for every entrepreneur I know, I used to be part of this group called the Owwll Entrepreneurs Organization, and tons of very successful men and women doing amazing things, like, you know, just leading charges in so many directions. But here's the reality. You got to look at your business and what you do and say to yourself, you know, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, you know, that's really it at the end of the day. You know, you do things that need to be done and you don't do things that shouldn't be done, you know, based on what you're doing and your alignment. So, yeah, I always used to say it. I don't know. Maybe it was a Sopranos episode back in the day. Tony's, I know, great advice, great source of
positive
advice.
influence.
Yeah.
Tony Soprano.
You should have heard what he had to say about how he dealt with competition in business.
Oh, yeah. What competition?
Exactly. Those were some universal laws we don't want to
I
cross.
dabble in personal loans in the concrete business. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. I feed fish for a living.
That's
it.
right.
Ah,
Do something I don't like. But yeah, universal laws versus actual ones. So let's give a call to what do we got here? Geoffrey Ullman. He's in tech. Let's see if he answers.
All right.
Florida.
Yeah, it said he was available.
Backyard.
Maybe just hurt himself and he ran. Your request has been submitted. I don't know what that means, but we'll figure it out. I called Jason, but Jason's got himself set up like out of our reach. How about this guy, Stefan? Blueprint Healing. Oh, that could be interesting. Let's see what he heals. I don't know. I know nothing about this guy, so we're going to find out. What's his name? Stefan. Little does he know he's going to be on a show.
There he is.
Hey, is this Stefan?
Speaking.
Stefan, you are now on the Owwll podcast, a live podcast being streamed out to planet Earth. My name
Right,
is
sir.
Oh. Geoff Schmidt, and I'm accompanied by two amazing hosts. I got Jackie to my right, and I got Brent to my left. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, why don't you share with everybody a little bit like who you are, what you do, give us some of that magic.
Well, this guy came from the School of Rough Knocks, and I wound up going to school many years ago as a commercial pilot. And after making that happen, I wound up having a spiritual intervention with the universe. So I found out that we're not as a human being, but as a spiritual being. And that was my journey about 13 or 14 years ago. And nowadays, my gift is assisting people through the feelings, the energies, and the vibrations. What's the negative feeling from childhood that gets people stuck? Once you can identify the feeling, whether it's sickness, program, limitation, whatever's going on, you can go in there and you can energetically release it.
Wow. How long have you been doing that? For 14 years?
I got into this about 14 years ago. First 5 were rough because I had no idea what I was getting into. And it was a big wake-up call. It was a huge wake-up call. And I haven't looked back since.
So you figured it out. Yeah, you blazed your trail, and like you said, you just keep going. You just keep
going. Keep going, gentlemen. Yes.
So speaking of energy and feelings, did you get a feeling that you're going to get called today and put on a podcast?
It's interesting. I spoke to somebody from the Owwll App last night, and we were talking about having like a podcast interview or an opportunity with that. So thank you for the call today.
You know what? We're looking at the app here, which we represent, and your profile, it just spoke to us. So
all right.
Now we're speaking in the real world. Well, listen, do you have some questions? Like, because you got 3 amazing entrepreneurs here. And,
okay.
Well, actually 2, and then you got me, the host. But nonetheless, this is a great opportunity to fire some shots over the bow and ask some questions.
Ooh.
Like, what would you like to know more about your business? We got veterans here. I'm talking like people who've really, built and sold like super top of their game.
Oh God, what do I ask here?
Yeah, the universe is answered. So here we are.
If it's anything I've learned, all fingers are pointed back on me. So the last number of years, it's like even I started venturing out with this in the business world about 5 years ago. I'll be honest with you, it was a crash course getting out there and then starting something that would implode, and I'd start something else again. This is now 2024. Where do you see the business world steering or going with this? And the reason I mention this is AI has taken off in the last year. And I realized I got warned 12 or 13 years ago, or 14 years ago, that as a commercial pilot, I got told, hey, Stefan, at one point, these jobs are going to become obsoleted. They're going to become obsolete. So from a business perspective, where would you see that someone either steers or maintains the course where everything's going right now?
I think the human connection is going to be a very important thing in the future, especially with AI becoming as prominent as it is. And I think the fact that you're in the particular business that you're in is going to be beneficial to a lot of people I come in contact with on a daily basis that need that human connection, that positivity, that spirituality in what you teach. So I actually think your business is going to grow as opposed to not.
Yes.
Because the human connection, we cannot teach a machine. That feeling, that energy, that's human beings, not machines.
All right. Well, I'm with you on there. Yes.
Very well said. What do you think, Jackie?
You need that personal approach. Like you call some company nowadays, you're getting voicemail, like you hit number 2, hit number 3, hit number 6.
Zero.
I just put down. It's just not
Operator.
like it used to be.
Operator.
Yeah. Keep it up.
Yeah.
It's very true. And just to add my 2 cents on this is, I think for the future, it's important to embrace AI and see it for what it is and figure out how you can use it and leverage it. Like I was just talking to somebody today about AI, and she was asking me, she's like, how do you really use it? Because, she's just asking basic questions like, what's the capital of Romania? Or, how many ounces is in the cup? But I'm like, when you look at AI like this, I'm going to give you guys all something. Look at AI like you just hired a team member to your team. that graduated Harvard University,
Right.
who's an expert at everything.
Yes.
Here's the thing, though. This new hire does not know you. They don't know your company. They do not know your business. However, they have the answer to anything you kind of want the answer to. So you just have to learn to be very specific with AI, recognizing you have a perfect 1600 scoring SAT cum laude Harvard genius on your team.
Who will show up to work every day.
That is true. And will never call in sick and answer all your questions. So when you learn to program it like that, you literally just for whatever chat, I don't know what I pay for Chat GPT, like $20 a month. For whatever you pay for that, you just got yourself literally like cum laude, Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Oxford, all those combined, on your team. So
It's here to
embracing
stay.
AI.
It's here to stay.
It's here to stay. It really is. And the self-flying planes that was mentioned earlier, yeah, that's eventually going to happen. We have self-driving cars and planes already have autopilot. I just, I don't know how far that goes at the present
Yeah.
moment.
Well,
I mean, the technology's out there. I mean, anyone goes online. I mean, I found. Look, I'll be honest with you. I thought I'd be flying for. Say, if I had to start with it, I would have been flying for Air Canada, maybe Lufthansa or Quanta Air. And then I went down the rabbit hole a bit. And I found them in India had technology like this, like several thousand years ago. So we're not just the first species that's around or the first civilization around, and it opened my eyes up to a lot of things.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I was just in Peru last week. And so, about the Incas and this and that, the civilization.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
when I was in Lima, I toured an archaeological site that predated the Inca Empire.
Wow.
And I was FaceTiming someone and, she's looking at it and she goes, "Oh my God, this looks a lot like the Egyptians." And here's the thing. Back
Yes.
then, there was knowledge and energy exchanged through energy of these civilizations around the world where how are they creating the similar looking things and doing similar looking stuff when they've never been in contact with each other? So there's all kinds of stuff going on out there that, you can't necessarily prove tangibly, but we all know it exists.
100%. Yes.
And yeah, looks like we got we got birds of a like feather here today. This is good conversation.
All right.
Well, tell me, what are your top 2 priorities right now for business?
My top 2. Actually, I'm sitting in front of my laptop right now and going through the website and I'm updating and tweaking things with it. So that's one of them. The other one is integrating with the 5th dimension with this and to awaken as many people here that we're not just here on a picnic, but it's to get the message out there that when we show up here, whatever's not expressed properly, when a person ends up getting sick later on, in this new 5D, this new 5th dimension, you can go in there, you can unplug the mess very, very quickly. And a big lesson I got from all this was in my first lifetime showing up here. And for the 8 or 7 or the 8 or 9 billion people that are here, we're technically all recycled, showing up here lifetime after lifetime, going through the same crap, the same type of experiences. My intention with this is to get the message out there that for every one of us, when we're in this 3D world, is to close up all the loops. So anything from the family, the culture, and the religion. I'm talking about the negative experiences that no one talks about, where everyone's aware of it. And one of the main reasons why people drink or doing other things or work as a workaholic, in my case at one point, or masking it, whatever it is for that success, deep down inside, they got stuff going on. It's to get the message out there that there's another way to deal with things, is to close everything up on the inside energetically. Once that's closed, this is one of the main reasons why we showed up here. It's to get that message out there.
Well, just I'll throw this out real fast because we're running out of time. But one thing you've probably looked at, but if you haven't, I'm going to put it out there, is if you study Vedic principles, Hinduism and Buddhism, there's many different types of karma. So there's present moment karma, past life karma.
100%.
Yeah. So there's the different types that we carry through, through our soul's experience, you could say. So the
souls asked us to be the volunteer to do the job right the first time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of us got screwed up here.
Stefan, I think you would love the Greek philosopher Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So it's a good message to tell your people. And I think what you're doing is phenomenal. Nice talking to you.
Pleasure, gentlemen. Take care.
All right. up the good work.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice guy.
that was interesting.
Yeah.
Wild.
I honestly did not predict it.
Yes.
I just didn't.
We went from travel to energy.
Wow.
Cool.
Like, let me give them some good star ratings here. You know, hey, reviews, baby. It's all about the reviews.
Yeah.
Great convo. And it was
I get
interesting.
a lot of business because of my reviews.
Huh?
I get a lot of business because of the reviews, Google
Yeah.
reviews. So important.
That's it. Reviews is where everything is really at these days, because that's the thing. It's like I've noticed, I haven't been in business and done everything from like internet to you name it, is I've seen the trust factor really fall apart online, where like, there was a time, place, and space where internet businesses were taken off, and they did, but then a lot of people got screwed, and people were just like, they just don't trust anymore. So the Google reviews are really important. What people are actually saying about you is what people put the most put the most meaning on, and then it still doesn't even stop there. Like in your case, yeah, I'm gonna read some of your reviews. I'm gonna see they're amazing, 5-star, but here's the big but. I'm going to pick up the phone and make a call.
Yep.
And how that call goes is ultimately going to determine the direction. So the reviews, what did the reviews do? The reviews got the phone call. The reviews got the inquiry.
Right.
The review. Back in the day, though, in the old days, you didn't really need the reviews. You just had to, they just know you did something, personal trainer, wind mitigation, coach, I'm going to call you anyways. But now, people have so much access to information out there, and there's so many people, and there's just so much that, you need those reviews. So, well, let's see who we got here. We're going to find one more. And because I like to think three's a charm. Let's see. We have the travel aid. We spoke to him. Oh, so we have someone calling. If somebody catches your attention, Kiana. Yeah, she's not cheap though. She's like $4. Cammy, I think Cammy's a podcaster. I bet.
Oh, yeah, let's give Cammy a shot.
You guys want to talk to Cammy?
Yeah.
Cammy, can you hear us out there? Because we're
Right,
about
right.
to call you. All right, Cammy.
Says she's available.
She says she's available. So let's do it. Let's talk to Cammy. Call. All right. See if she woke up feeling that she was going to be on a podcast today.
Cammy's out for dinner.
Oh, wait. Here she is.
She's in the car.
Hey, Geoffrey.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to Mentorship Mondays. You're on the Owwll App podcast. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. And I'm joined by two amazing co-hosts. I got Jackie to my right. I got Brent to my left.
Hi, Cammy.
Hello.
And we probably have like 6,000 years of combined entrepreneurial experience. So can't go wrong here, Cammy. Can't go wrong. So tell everyone out there and, internet and podcasting and broadcasting world, who you are, what you do, and what makes you so amazing.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. This is such a pleasant surprise, especially on a Monday in a new week.
Right? Let's start it
Yes.
off right.
Yes, of course. Always. Well, my name is Cammy, and I'm a video podcast and branding strategist who was a former TV reporter and producer and just all around creative. So that's what I do. And in addition to that, I like to empower women and other creatives and entrepreneurs. So that's a little bit about me. I'm from Washington, D.C. And in my spare time, I love to dance. I love trying new foods. And I love to crochet and meet new people.
All right,
So,
crochet,
just a little bit of-
you just threw the curveball there. Everything was congruent and alignment. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I know Cammy. Wait, how old is she again? I'm just sitting here with your needles crocheting. I like sweaters, by the way.
Oh, she's watching TV.
Okay.
I heard crocheting is a form of meditation. Honestly, I'm being serious.
is.
Yeah.
It very well
It is.
could be.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
She's multitasking, watching TV and crocheting at the same
Oh
time.
my God, Chris.
And making a beautiful
Yeah.
scarf.
Yeah, holiday gifts, and yeah, I love it. No, I saw a lot of crocheting when I was in Peru a couple weeks ago with alpaca. They use the alpaca wool, and
Sure.
they make scarves and like
Oh, yeah.
sweaters. 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I want to ask about the podcasting because that's the right direction to go in, but I am curious about the crochet. Do you use different materials like cotton, wool, like
I
lamb,
use
sheep?
cotton. I used to use a lot of wool um, to felt bags, which basically, if you throw wool inside of a washer machine, it shrinks the bag and puts it all together. So it's not your typical loosely felted or loosely crocheted type of bag if you want it to be all enclosed. So I use a mixture between cotton and um, wool, which is more so done when you felt bags.
See, and this is the case in point. It just goes to show every industry, no matter what you do, there's details behind it. Like, you talk to an everyday person, go, hey, I crochet. And they go, oh, that's great. And they think that they understand what crocheting is really all about. But when we get to it, I bet it goes down to needle size and what you're making and the material. And, do I put like this, I don't know, this stuff, this spray on it when it's done? I don't know. I'm just sure that the world of crocheting goes way deeper than anyone could possibly imagine.
Absolutely.
Is there anything in particular that you like to crochet? Sweaters or scarves or anything of that nature?
I actually really love to crochet bags, and I'm working on hats right now, but bags is definitely my specialty.
So will this be like a fashion line maybe or something? Because I'll tell you what, there is a huge demand out there for these niche products, that are especially handmade.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. We'll see if I can manufacture it. Definitely.
Oh my gosh. Can you just picture it, a room with everybody, all these, you just go to the nursing homes and just hand out giving them the jobs. So tell us a little bit about the podcasting though, because obviously, you're doing that. So what is your podcast? Let's announce it to the world. Let's make everyone aware.
Yeah, so my video podcast is called The Trendsetter Lounge. So it's a radio, TV, digital talk show style of a podcast where we bring on different movers and shakers across different industries. We tell a little bit about their stories, we promote their brands, products, and services, and then we incorporate a little bit of entertainment and good music into it. We're broadcasted on Amazon and Spotify, and iHeartRadio is one of our partners, but then I also have a digital television network called First Class TV, which is on Roku. So if you have a Roku smart television, you can stream our First Class television network, which also has the Trendsetter Lounge broadcasted on it. And so, yeah, people have the opportunity to come on there, promote their brands, tell their story, and inspire people while also getting entertained. So it's more of a reality, or not reality, but more so of a radio type of format, but television talk show type of style, if that makes sense. So I used to be a TV reporter, so that was my inspiration, bringing that into the podcast space, specifically video podcasts.
Very cool. And what kind of an impact is that having? Are you feeling an impact out there from it?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of creators who want to be entrepreneurs. So a lot of them are shifting over to the entrepreneur space after watching my podcast and being inspired just with my overall brand and story of me making that pivot from being a TV morning reporter to the video podcast space. And so since then, we've actually scaled back a little bit because I wanted to continue to teach other entrepreneurs how to get in front of their ideal clients while monetizing their podcast, because a lot of entrepreneurs aren't aware how to do that, especially those who have had their podcast for a while. And so that's something that I wanted to contribute to the entrepreneur space. And so now that I'm able to teach that subject matter expertise that I have, now I'm looking to bring back the Trendsetter Lounge, which is currently on hiatus, but we'll be back soon. It's just now we've taken a pivot and a turn in the direction and how we want to continue to impact and inspire those creators and entrepreneurs out there.
Well, that's awesome. You're going to have to keep us all posted on what's going on, because I'm definitely curious to check out this podcast yours and see what you're putting out there, because it sounds like you're spreading a lot of good information and positivity into a world that needs to learn more. Because anytime anyone brings up podcasts, I don't know, maybe you guys are in the same boat, maybe not, but I don't know why my brain goes to YouTube. It just does. I feel like YouTube is the place, but like, Jason, who's, behind the Owwll button, he's like, no, not YouTube. I'm like, I don't know. I grew up with YouTube. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm into YouTube and podcasts. The last couple of years, I'm getting rid of my Netflix account. It's just a waste. It's just
Look at that.
You're not learning anything from them. Podcasts, they're interesting
agree.
people out there.
yeah, you have access
There
to
are.
information and to what you want to know. It's like, that's the thing with the world. It's becoming like everybody's becoming very specific, which is great. You're going to almost have to be. It's like how we started this episode today, talking about getting in touch with our essence, who we came into this world to be. And that's really what the world wants to see. Yeah. It's, let go of the social programming and social conditioning that tries to tell us who we should be or how we should think. And just, row our own boat. I heard that somewhere, or I just made it up. I'm not sure. It sounds good though.
No, absolutely. And we're living in an informational age. So we have a great opportunity to honestly become our own subject matter experts and media conglomerates, which is what a podcast essentially is. And so if you're a subject matter expert, you have an amazing opportunity to create your own essential podcast and television network with your own subject matter expertise, which is opening up a lot of doors. There's no more gatekeeping anymore.
No, 100%. And I'll just say this real fast, because I know from what I do as a mindset performance coach and serial entrepreneur, is one of the greatest challenges that people have in these type of areas is the mindset, getting out of their own way, getting connected to who they are, and getting that stream of consciousness and flow to flow through them, so they're not acting awkward, they're not misrepresenting themselves, they're not acting strange, they're not crackling in their voice, they're not making weird eye movements or something. You know what I'm saying? It's
exactly
like so you're the people that we just talked about, like on the higher end, that could step right into what you're doing. That's like 5%. I'm going to literally sit here and call it out, and then someone can call me out.
Absolutely.
95% they need mindset coaching, performance coaching to get ready for the podcast. Because again, if somebody has the answer to like a disease out there, if they can't express it or they say it in a weak, like low value way, no one's going to listen. People are going to get turned off.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Got to deliver that message.
Yep, and deliver that message.
Bam. All
and
right.
We actually have a confidence building journal on my website, which is firstclasscrew.biz.
We ran out of time. All right. Well, listen, everyone. I hope everyone took some notes on that. Absolutely amazing. Cammie, learning all about her podcast. In fact, I'm going to give her a bunch of 5 stars. Here, go ahead.
One last advice.
Yep. Let's hear it,
For
Geoffrey.
future entrepreneurs. You should take my grandmother's advice. One should wear off the bottom of your shoes soles and not the bottom of your seat pants. In other words, you got to get out there and hustle instead of just waiting for it to come to you.
I love it.
Said.
I love it. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for
Thanks, Jeff.
joining us for Mentorship Mondays, the Owwll podcast. Last reminder, if you do not have this app, freaking go download it already, okay? What are you doing here? You can get it at the Google store, or is it the Google store? Is that what we go to? Yeah.
Google Play.
Google Play, thank you, or the Apple Store, and then maybe it's floating around somewhere else. I don't know. Just go find it, download it, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great
Thanks,
night.
Jeff. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Nice.
Painless.
All right.
Painless.
Good job, guys.
It was fun.